that is sattvic and rajasic and tamasic food. Among these food varieties, the food is of again three types, that is Soshma, Majja and Sthola, that is subtle and middle, and the Sthola means grass, the grass, middle and subtle. Suppose if you take hot food, the essence of the food will be like the vapors will be coming from the vapors of food will be coming upwards. That is the main essence of food that contains much energy, that will be nourished to the mind. So the food, the subtle part of the food which is in the hot form, the vapor, that is much energy, that will be nourishing the mind, and the middle part will be nourishing the body, and the grass part will be thrown outside in the form of fecal matter or urine. If you take water, that water, the subtle part will be nourishing the blood, that is pranasakti, and the middle part will be nourishing the pranam, and the middle part will be nourishing the blood, and the grass part will be thrown as urine. So the food is having grass, subtle and middle part, and among these there are sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. The sattvic food will be liking by the sattvic people, and they will further enhance the sattvic nature only. That is about the sattvic food. Then coming to the rajasic food, that is Katvamrala, Navala, Lavanachushna, Teksha, Roksha, Vidahinaha, Ahara, Rajasaseshta, Dukkha, Soka, Amayapradaha. These are very important food varieties to get away for a seeker. To be away from the seeker, these type of food one should be avoided. One should avoid these foods. That is Katum. Katum means bitter. Amla means sour. And Katvam Lavana, that means salty, saline. Katvam Lavana Achushna, that means too hot. Here Ati means that Ati will be applied to both too bitter and too sour and too salty and too hot. Katvam Lavana Achushna Teksha. Teksha means pungent. They will be very corrosive. And Teksha Roksha. Roksha means the chilies. That means they will be dried, and they will be causing corrosive to the throat, and they will be causing burning sensation to the stomach also. So Teksha Roksha Vidahinaha. Roksha means there is fried. That means the food will be dried. Some people, they will make it fried with oily foods. They will make fries. All fried foods will come under this Rajoguna food, you know. So Vidahinaha, they will increase the thirst also. They will increase the thirst. Why? Because most of the rajasic food will be mixed with the oils. When they cook with much oil, that oil, fatty food will increase the thirst. They will stimulate the gallbladder and the liver. That bile will be secreted in the stomach immediately. That will be increasing the thirst. When thirst is increased, they will be taking much more water. When there is much more water, Dukkha Soka Amayapradaha. Now what is the result of this? When the water is logged in the blood and in the tissues and the body, in the brain, that naturally the thirst and appetite centers in the hypothalamus of the brain, they will be hampering the blood supply because of the heavy weight. When they are taking much heavy diet with oily foods, there will be much thirst. With that thirst, they will take more water. With that more water, that water will be logging in their body. When there is more heaviness, that heaviness will not allow you to your blood circulation to go upwards. That means your pituitary and hypothalamus will be hampered by having this blood circulation. That's why they will enter into a vicious circle. Dukkha Soka Amayapradaha. They will be getting pain and sorrow, and Amayapradaha. Amayam means diseases. What is the root cause for the diseases? root cause for the disease is mainly due to Rajasic food and Tamasic food. Rajasic food, water logging and impurities logging. When there is much salt, where there is salt, there is water, you know. That's why doctors will ask you to reduce salt. When you reduce salt, the water logging will be reduced. But reduction of salt is also very optimum, you know. That should be moderate. If you totally reduce salt, that food, the micronutrients will not be thoroughly absorbed into the tissues. So that's why saltish food also is necessary. That should be moderate. That's why we should advocate to take this Saindhava Lavanam, that is potassium chloride, that is more desirable. So all these foods with the utmost very intensive bitter, thorough, too much bitter, too much savory, and too much salty, and too hot, and the too much chilli, that too much oily fried fruits, and which are causing this burning sensation and increasing the thirst, they will ultimately result in dukkha soka amyapradaha. They will be increasing the pain and the sorrow for the mind and for the diseases, both adhiyadis, that is disease for the body and the mind also. All these put together, these rajoguna food, they will result in all these diseases. Now coming to the tamasic food means yatayamam, gatarasam, puti, parushitayantayat, uchishtam apichamejam, bhojanam tamasapriyam. Bhojanam tamasapriyam. Yatayamam. Yamam means 3 hours. Passing after 3 hours. That means the food already cooked and passed 3 hours. The food passed 3 hours after cooking. That is called yatayamam. And that is stale food. Properly uncooked food, and the cooking already passed more than 3 hours. And gatarasam means when the food is dried up, there won't be much juicy, that is already evaporated. Yatayamam, gatarasam, puti means putrid, they will be bad smelling. Gatarasam puti parushityanchayat, that means that is rotten food that was kept in the overnight. Some people, they will be keeping this food in the overnight, and they will take early in the morning or in the afternoon. That food is called, that will come under this tamasic food. They don't have any sort of energy. The subtle part is already gone in the tamasic food. The subtle part of the food is already gone in the tamasic food. Yatayamam, gatarasam, puti, parushita chantayat, uchishtam. Uchishtam means that is ingli, that is the remnants of the food that taken by others. Uchishtam amejam, that means unpious, that can never be offered to deities or the Lord. That is amejam, that is unpious. All these will come under this tamasic food. So the animals, the jungle animals, and the people who don't have any proper understanding about the food, they will be taking all this rotten and stale food and putrid food they will be taking. This will come under tamasic food. The tamasic people will like the tamasic food, and the people who take tamasic food, that will be increasing their tamoguna also. That's why in Upanishad it says, Anna doshena chittasya kalusham sarvada bhavet kalushikrita chittanam dharma samyak nabhasate. That is a wonderful explanation told in Upanishads. Anna doshena chittasya, whatever the food according to its dosham, its impurity, its bad quality, that will influence the mind. Anna doshena chittasya kalusham sarvada bhavet. The mind will be always influenced by the impurities or the purity of the food taken into the stomach. Kalushikrita chittanam, that mind already polluted by the food, dharma samyak nabhasate. For them, this divine spiritual knowledge will be never be illumined, that will be never be flourished. So according to the food, their mind will be like that. According to their mind, their knowledge will be like that. Simply, that's why Paramatma has clearly demarcated the food take is very much important for a seeker. One must be having utmost faith. That faith should be according to the scriptural laws, and you should observe the strict precautions of the diet. So, yatayamam gatrasam puti parishitanjat yuchishtam apichamedyam bhojanam tamasapriyam annadoshena chittasya kalsham sarvada bhavet kalushikrita chittanam dharma samyak nabhasate. They don't have proper spiritual knowledge because of the pollution of the mind, because of the unhealthy food taken. Suppose, for example, our Gurudev used to say, if you take a datura fruit means that food will give you belladonna, atropine and all these things. That is a fruit with spikes. If you take that fruit, you will become mad. So due to that fruit only will become mad. So the diet will directly influence the mind. So this is the scientific background behind this. Now after this varieties of food is over, now Paramatma is going to explain about the yajna dana tapas. Yajna means sacrifice, dana means charity, and the tapas means austerity. Now he is classifying afalakantribhir yajno vididrushno yajjate yashtavya meveti manas samadhaya sasatvikaha. The satvika yajnam is again of three types: sattva, rajas, tamaha. The sacrifice is of three types, that is afalakantribhir yajno vididrushno yajjate. That means the sacrifice, whatever they do, this sacrifice, they will have a resolution that I should do this. He will commit, he will resolute himself that I should do this, because this is sattvic sacrifice, I must do it. Yastavya meveti manas samadhaya. In that way, he will be concluded in this mind, and which is very much necessary, he will be concluded. And afalapa kantribhir yajno. But whatever the sacrifice they do, they don't have any desire on the fruit of that karma, that they sacrifice. So here is also a very crucial point. Everywhere afalakantribhihi. That means those who don't want the fruit of the karma, who don't want the doesn't want the fruit of the karma, only a yogi. That was already mentioned in the 5th chapter. Yukta karmaphalam chaktva santimapnot naishtikim ayuktaha kamakarena phale sakto nibajjate. In the 5th chapter, yukta karmaphalam chaktva. Yuktaha means yukta chuchyate yogi. Yogi alone can get away from the fruit of the karma. Shantim apnot naishtikim. He will get the peace of the mind when he is doing this sadhana. Whatever the karma they do, they will get the peace of mind by dividing the fruit of the karma. Ayuktaha, the non-yogis, kamakarena, because of their desires. Phale sakto, having affection on the root of the karma. Nibajjate, they will be bonded. So, afalakantribhir yajno means whatever the yajna sacrifice they do, they should be devoid of the fruit of the karmas. Only a yogi can do that. That's why he will, the yogi, he will commit himself, he will resolve himself that I should do even whatever the external action also, whether it is yajna or dana or tapa, whatever it may be, but he will commit and resolute that I should do this. And manas samadhaya satvikaha. So the yajna which comes under the satvikam should be without fruit, without having mind of the fruit of the karma, that is whatever the sacrifice it may be, that will come under satvika yajna. Abhisandhayata phalam dambhadmita chaiva yat yajjate bharata shrestha yajjam tam vidhi rajasam. The second category of the Rajogunam, Paramatma mentions that abhisandhayata phalam, having mind on the fruit of the yajnam, abhisandhayita phalam, dambhardhamita chaivayat. Hypocritically, he won't have full confidence or full faith on that yajnam, but he will be pretending, he will be hypocritically doing that yajnam. Dambhardhamita chaivayat. Whatever the yajnam or sacrifice done by him with hypocrisy, but he will be aspiring for the fruit of that karma, that yajnam. He wants fruit, but he won't do it with proper attention, and he will be deviating the law of shastram. Abhisandhayita phalam dambhardhamita chaivayat. Ijjate Bharata Shrestha, O Arjuna, he will be doing that yajnam. Tam vijjam vidhi parayam. Yajnam tam vidhi rajasam. O Arjuna, you understand that yajnam will come under this rajoguna yajnam. So the yajnam sacrifice aspiring for the fruit of the karma, that will come under this rajoguna yajnam. Then tamoguna yajnam comes like this: vidhihinam, asrishtanam, mantrahinam, adakshinam, shraddha virahita yajnam, tamasam parichakshate. Tamasam parichakshate. This is also very important. See, by explaining, by knowing all these conditions, you can understand how many people are worshipping about God. How many people are trying to know their self. We can understand by understanding the qualities of the people who are doing all these, doing external karmas or yajnas or whatever they do outside. They will come, they will fall under this category, under all these categories. Vidhihinam, they will trespass the law, they will don't do this inside prayer, inside sadhana, inside yoga sadhana. Simply, when they sacrifice this yajna or any karma, they will ask the people, the Rutviks and the people who are doing this sacrifice, they will ask him to catch the hold of the nose, to do pranayama. To do pranayama, they will ask them to catch the nose. Simply not catching the nose, it is to catch the vayu which is coming through the nose, that is by doing pranayama. Not simply by doing nose, it is not that you do pranayama. When you do pranayama only, that will come under sattvika yajna. That's why even though they are performing with fruit of the karma, with mind on the fruit of the karma, simply to get rid of this fruit, they will ask them to do this with this pranayama. So, vidhihinam, when they don't do this pranayama properly, by doing external with external, catching the nose and all these other things, vidhihinam asrishtanam, they are not passing, they are not working according to the law of scriptures. Asrishtanam, they don't offer food also. So in every sacrifice, whatever the karma you do, you should do annadanam. That serving food is also very much necessary. Vidhihinam asrishtanam. Mantrahinam, they should be followed with the chanting of mantras also. Wherever there is yajnam, without mantram there is no yajnam. But that yajnam should be according to the Veda mantras. But Veda mantras should be done with along with pranayamam. Without pranayam, if they chant mantras, that will also trespassing the law. So vidhihinam, asrishtanam, mantrahinam, adakshinam. That means without offering money or clothes to the Rutviks or the poor. So adakshinam, here dakshinam is very important. Dakshina means, say, from this yajnam, this offering, the dakshina will, the renunciation, the chagam will be started by the seeker. If you want to have chagam, first you start with offering dakshina to the Rutviks, the poor and the great people, and even to the gurus also. Even during this Brahmavidya also, this Guru Dakshina is a must. Is a must. If you don't offer any sort of Guru Dakshina, that will come under this Tamasika Yajnam. So whatever the action you do, Vidhihinam, Asrishtanam, Mantrahinam, Adakshinam. This Dakshinam is also very fundamental. Even for the Yogabhyasaka, this Guru Dakshina whatever it should be followed with dakshina. It should start with Guru Dakshina and his sadhana will end with Guru Dakshina also. So there is an example in Mahabharata. Our Gurudev used to say, Lord Sri Krishna and Balarama, they were serving, they are learning all these vidyas at the Guru Sandipani in Ujjain. When they have finished their all these vidyas, and when they are going to leave Guru, the wife of Sandipani has reminded her husband, that is Sandipani, she has reminded that you have already lost your son. Lord Sri Krishna is capable of giving your dead son also. He has got that capability. So when he is going to leave you, you ask him Guru Dakshina. Then Sandipana asked Lord Sri Krishna, and Lord Sri Krishna has gone to the ocean because he died in the ocean, and he has gone to the ocean and by killing some Gandharva Raksha, and he has taken he is Sandipana's son, and he has offered his son to Guru. So Guru Dakshina yanchaitu Guru Putrena Sadhanam Tadanugraham Labdva Gamichan Dwaraka Puran. That is the version told in Mahabharata. Guru Dakshina yanchaitu Guru Putrena Sadhanam. Lord Sri Krishna has offered the son of Sandipana as Guru Dakshina, and after getting his blessings, Gamichat Dwaraka Puran. The Balarama and Sri Krishna has gone to Dwaraka. So they have shown the example for any vidya. First you have to offer this dakshina. Dakshina means, that's why in Guru Gita, of course, also Uchishtam. Here Uchishta means not the Engili. That means Uchishta Bhojana means the first whatever you take, you should offer to Guru first, and even for here whatever. That's why there is a habit of taking food. When you take food, you will keep your food here and offer the essence of the food to the Guru who is above and take. So for everything this is a must. Mantrahina Madakshanam Shraddha Virahitam Yajnam. They don't do with any faith. Simply for the sake of the world, for the sake of the his ambitions, thinking that he will get fruits of this but he won't have any Shraddha. You don't have a faith on that. Shraddha Virahitam Yajnam Tamasam Parichakshate. That will come under Tamasa Yajnam. So yajnas of three types: Sattva Yajnam without fruits, and Rajasa Yajnam with aspiring for fruits, and the Tamasa Yajnam without any law, and they will be deviating all these things without observing all these mantram and dakshanam, and without offering anadhanam, and all this will come under this tamoguni yajnam. Now coming to the tapas austerity. Tapas means austerity. This will again come under this three categories. In everywhere, that is in Bhagavad Gita, at so many instances, Paramatma used to say, Yajnadana tapakarna nachajyam karyameva tattu yajnodana tapaschaiva pavanani manishnam. In the 18th chapter also, Yajnadana tapakarma yat karoshi yat johoshi dadasi yat tapashasi kantaya tat kurushva datpanam. In the 9th chapter also, whatever says mentioning Paramatma was mentioning about this yajna dana tapaha. Among these three, now it comes under the category of tapaha. The tapaha is tapas, austerity will again come under three types. That is mind, word, and the action. That is action with the body, and word with the mouth, and speech in the speech, and mind, thought with the mind. So there are three types of tapasas. That is Deva, Vija, Guru, Prajna, Pujanam, Saucham, Arjavam, Brahmacharyam, Ahimsacha, Sariram, Tapavuchate. This will come under, all these qualities will come under Saririka Tapaha. The austerity, the tapas which is pertaining to this body. If you have all these qualities, your mind is under this control. This is called Saririka Tapaha. That is what is Deva Dvija Guru Prajnanam. You please understand all these words. Deva means worshipping, respecting, showing gratitude to Devatas. Even though you are doing Atma Sadhana inside, you have to respect the Devatas outside also. That will come under this Satvika Tapas. So, Deva Dvija. Dvija means reborn. Twice born. Twice born means here also Dvija. Dvi means two. Two born. Dvija means twice born. How twice born? Say Janmana Jayate Sudraha, Karmana Jayate Dvijaha, Vedaparayano Vipraha, Brahmajnanetu Brahmana, Brahmajnanetu Brahmana, Brahmajnanetu Brahmana. So here this Dvija means everybody in whatever the caste or varnam born, everybody by birth they are Sudras. Janmana Jayate Sudraha, Karmana Jayate Dvijaha. Here Karmana means by doing Yoga Karmana, Brahmopadesam. Brahmopadesam simply not by doing Upanayanam. Upanayanam means Upanayanam, that process which will lead you to this Atman state. That is Upanayanam, that is internal, that is Brahmopadesam. One who gets this Upanayanam or Brahmopadesam, he will be called as a Dvija. That means until this Upanayanam or Brahmopadesam, he is under the category of Sudra, and when he gets this Yoga Sadhana, his knowledge, the spiritual knowledge will be increased by increasing his mental energy. So this, when he is turned into this spiritual knowledge, he will be born as second he is again born. That's why a person who is initiated and doing this yoga sadhana, he will be under the category of Dvija. So respecting the yoga sadhakas also, this will come under this tapas. So you have to respect the Devata, you have to respect the yoga sadhakas, the Brahmins, and Deva Dvija Guru, and naturally you have to respect the Gurus, whatever the Guru may be. He may be material Guru or maybe spiritual Guru, you have to respect the Gurus. Without respecting and showing gratitude to Guru, there is no Vijay at all. There is no Vijay at all. And Prajna means though there are great people, they may be having sound knowledge, they may be having scriptural knowledge, they are well scholared. So you have to respect them also. So you have to respect both the deities and the yoga sadhakas, dvijas and gurus and the great people, Brahma Jnanis, that is Prajna. Pujanam, you have to do puja also, you have to do worship these four categories of people. And Saucham Arjavam. Saucham means again Suchi, internal and external. Internal Saucham is controlling the mind by burning the Antakarana Chatushtayam, by increasing the burning the impurities of mind, that will become under the internal purification, and external purification by observing, restraining the external senses, that will come under this Saucham. Arjavam means straightforwardness. Straightforwardness means one who doesn't have any ambition or any desire, he will naturally behave very straightforwardly. So, without any pretension or hypocrisy, you will behave like with straightforwardness. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Purjanam Sauchamarjam Brahmacharyam Ahimsacha. Brahmacharyam. All the way I was telling about this Brahmacharyam. Brahmacharyam here, Brahmacharyam is very most important. See, for a truth seeker, one must observe the diet precautions and Brahmacharyam, and he should never trespass the law of scriptures. So, Brahmacharyam means there are two types of Brahmacharyam already told, but for the time being I will tell. There are two types of Brahmacharyas. कायेन मनसा वाचा परस्त्रीणां विवर्जनं ऋतो भार्या तदा स्वस्य ब्रह्मचर्यं परन्तप ब्रह्मभावे मनश्चार्यं ब्रह्मचर्यं तदुच्यते. There are two types of brahmacharyas, but means by word, mind, or this action, getting away from the other ladies from other than his wife, by getting away from these ladies, and that is Ruto Bharya Sadasasya, by having sexual desire with his wife, at observing the regular menstrual period cycle, and all this will come under brahmacharya also. Even though they are using their enjoying their conjugal pleasure, that will also come under brahmacharya. But mind you, at one stage only, at one stage of life only, after getting this 45 or 50 years age, you have to strictly observe this precaution. Until then, because you to give birth or to enjoy with this youth nature, you may have to succumb for this sex pleasure, but after that you have to strictly observe this brahmacharya. Again, now come to the second category, that is supreme category, brahmabhave manascharya brahmacharyam parantapa. By having mind throughout in the Brahman itself, that will come under the strict brahmacharya. So brahmacharya ahimsa cha, so observing non-violence, non-injury to the creatures or any being, not doing any harm to others, that will come under ahimsa. Of course, that is already told in the previous chapters also. Ahimsa vara prokta atma sarva gato achejjo agrahya ityamati sacha ahimsa vara prokta iti vedanta vedibhi. The great people told that one who knows the Atman, which is indivisible, achejya agrahya, which is cannot be easily understood, ityamati, one who understands this type of level of understanding, sacha ahimsa vara prokta, he is called ahimsa vara. Viti Vedanta Vedibhi, that is told by the great people. So, observing brahmacharyam and ahimsa, vangmay saririk tapa uchyate. So, anidve devad vijagaru prajya pujanam sauchamarjavam brahmacharyam ahimsa cha sariram tapa uchyate. All these principles will come under this saririka tapasu, the tapas of the body. Now coming to the speech. अनुद्वेग करम वाक्यम सत्यम प्रिय हितंच यत् स्वाध्याय व्यसनं चैव वाङ्मयं तप उच्यते. This is also very important. So a truth seeker cannot easily jump into the kingdom of the God, but he have to observe all these things. Anudvega karam vakyam, unexcitable, that means without any excitement, without any udvegam. Anudvega karam vakyam,